Number 4 is basically the opposite of number 3. It's giving you the two-part definition and asking you to write at least 4 terms, and that was the exact opposite of what we saw earlier, where you were given 4 terms and asked to write the two-part definition. So let's see if we can reverse our thinking. The first thing we'll remember about our own process in question number 3 is that they always told us the first term to start with. Now, it's not always the first term necessarily, but they always give us a Kickstarter. For example, this is saying that the first term we should start with is 6. So I'm definitely going to go with what they give me. They're always giving me something to start with by default. So the first term they gave me to deal with is a 6. So I'm good there. Now I need to look at the second part, and I need to remember that in the second part, they're trying to tell us what each pattern is going to look like. So this one is saying to get to the next term, and I'll translate that there. We take the current term, and I'm looking for something after and I don't find it, but I see at the beginning there's a 3 next to the t of n. We always remember something next to is multiplying, so we can infer that this is 3 times the current term. And if I think about it, if I start with a 6, 3 times that would be 18, so that must be the next term in the sequence. And then if I take 3 times that, I'd get 54. That must be the next term. And then if I take 3 times that, I'd get 162. So you could keep going, but it only asks you for the first 4, or at least 4 terms, and I can stop there if I'd like. So the idea again is to translate what you're given and then use the pattern to help you generate more terms. Take a look at question number, letter B, and let's do the same thing. Again, it's giving us t of 2 equals 4. Now that's interesting. It's giving us the second term, but whatever. It doesn't specify that it has to be the first 4 terms. It just says at least 4 terms. So it's okay if we start with the second term, if we start with the 4, and then just build from there. It's totally all right. So let's translate the equation. It says t of n plus 1, that's the next term, is equal to t of n, that's the current term, minus 7. So this is telling me to take the current term I know and subtract 7 from it. Well, 4 minus 7 would be negative 3. And if I minus 7 again, I'd get negative 10. And minus 7 again, I'd get negative 17. So again, once you know what to look for, it's pretty straightforward. It kind of tells you everything you need to know. We'll do one more just so you can show how quickly this can go and prove it to yourself. T of 1 is 15. There's the first term they give me, 15. Boom, done. The next part says t of n plus 1 equals t of n. We know that plus 1. Plus 1 must be the important part. Plus 1 is telling me the pattern. So let's just keep adding 1. I have 15, add 1, 16, add 1, 17, add 1, 18. And you could keep going and going, but you don't have to because it says only the first 4 terms. So hopefully you can practice a few of those and make some sense of how these t of n definitions are going to look. And then, of course, we'll finish with question number 5, which is technically on the next page, but that's the only question you'll need to do on the next page, so just make sure you're ready for that.